a chance to hear a rumbling and a tumbling in their atmosphere. One Sunday morning, a chance to hear a rumbling and a tumbling in their atmosphere.
Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. That song you're hearing in the background there is from Attila the Hun, and it is called Graf Zeppelin. It's a song about the very first time an airplane flew over Trinidad and Tobago. This morning, we're going to be chatting inside the Spotlight on Now on an airplane coming back to Trinidad, well, more Tobago. Inside your Spotlight on Now.
Now, following up on negotiations with long-standing airline partner Condor over the past few months, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited announced on April 27th the resumption of a direct airlift between Germany and Tobago. And so joining us this morning to talk more about it is Marketing Officer at the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, Ms. Pearl Henry. Ms. Henry, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Now.
Good morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to the listening audience.
I love the big smile. I'm hoping that's because of the return flight that we can see coming up.
Thank you very much.
But before we get into that conversation, however, just give us an overview about the Tobago Tourism Agency and some of the responsibility and duty the organization has.
The Tobago Tourism Agency is generally responsible for marketing the destination and everything around that. So we have a product department, we have the marketing department, of course, and research. Research plays an important role. So everything that deals with marketing the destination, that is what the Tobago Tourism Agency is responsible for.
Nice. And is it that you would have extended or spoken to Condor? I mean, how did the partnership come about in the first place?
The partnership, we have a long-standing partnership with Condor. We were in negotiations for a couple of months, but as you may have known, they have made a lot of operational changes to their fleet. They moved from Boeing to Airbus, so that created somewhat of a bottleneck. So we had to basically wait. Everything was in play for the negotiations. We had an agreement, but we were waiting by our phones, waiting by the computer for word that, yes, we're going to get the flight. Yes. So it has been a long road. At ITB, we would have had conversations again, and it resulted in us having the flight.
Yeah. And well, let's get into the details about the flight. Is it that there's going to be now a direct flight from Germany to Tobago? How exactly is it going to work?
It's a direct flight from Frankfurt to Tobago. Of course, It's in partnership with Barbados. There's a stopover in Barbados on the way back to Condor. It starts on the 7th of November, if I'm correct, 7th of November, and it goes through the 9th of April. It's one of their new long-haul fleet aircraft. So, of course, we're going to be seeing something very sleek at Crump Point, at A&R Robertson Crump Point airports in Tobago come this November.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Now, I'm thinking that maybe one of the reasons that the partnership also existed and that the direct flight is coming on board is because you would have seen some sort of expectation or some sort of need from passengers in Tobago. What sort of impact do you think this new flight is going to have? Do we expect to see more flights between those two countries?
Really and truly, I would say it's more from the end of Germany being a critical source market from Tobago. I mean, we have a long-standing history with Germany. There's a really love connection between Germany and Tobago. So there is a need. It's one of the largest outbound traveling markets in Europe. So after UK first, it's really, really important. So there is Condor, our relationship with Condor really keeps Tobago on the radar. So we're hoping that other airlines show interest. And of course, in the long term, we would have more flights from Germany, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed over here as well. I mean, and how does that fit into the overall goal for the tourism agency, especially as it relates to marketing the tourism aspect of Tobago?
Okay, well, what I normally tell persons and stakeholders is that most of the marketing efforts that we have, we would not be able to see it domestically. All right. We have a marketing rep, a German representative that lives in Germany. So most of our work is invisible. It happens in the market in Germany. We have a lot of collaboration. We do a lot of collaboration, with tour operators, business to consumer collaboration. So it's a lot that goes into it, but most of it is invisible because of course it's directed to the German market. We have, what I could say is that we have an extensive work plan that we're working with, strategies that we have pulled together from research, from understanding what is happening in the ground in Germany. So we've put together something really extensive in terms of our marketing strategy to keep Tobago on the radar and to keep it on the minds of travelers in Germany and Europe by extension.
Of course. Now, Miss Henry, I want a little bit more. Tell us about that work strategy. And I'm saying that because how are we going to ensure? How are we going to ensure that we keep the planes filled, that we keep people booking those seats? I mean, what is Tobago going to offer to those people in Germany?
I mean, for one, we would all love to see a full plane of passengers coming off at the airport in Crown Point. In terms of these strategies, we have it with tour operators, we attend trade shows. Our German marketing representative in particular, she is the one responsible for making those calls, staying in contact with the most important players in the market in Germany. Of course, we have our digital marketing campaign again, which is not really visible to the domestic market, but it's really picking up pace. We have our dive-in marketing strategy. We have various niches that we target within the German space. So it's a lot. And not forgetting that we have a marketing agreement with Condor as well.
Right.
So with the contractual agreement for the flight, we also have a series of marketing campaigns that goes throughout the booking time from November to April.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Sounds like you've done your research.
Yeah, it is.
Now,
We're excited.
Now, I know that the agency will, of course, be the main driver of this, but obviously you would have had to partner with some of those stakeholders. Tell us about some of the stakeholders who you would partner with to bring this project off the ground.
But our stakeholders, we have our local stakeholders, and of course, we have our international, well, German stakeholders. Locally, we keep in contact with our hoteliers, our tour guides. Right now, we have the Uplift service. I'm not sure if you've heard about it. It's in partnership with the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. So what we do is we have a customer service program. We ask and implore that the stakeholders, they engage in this. They bring their employees up to speed in terms of the service that we're offering. Because, I mean, we are only here to ensure that persons come to our island, but they come into play to have them return in terms of the service that we're offering. Internationally, we ensure that we stay up to date and stay in contact with our foreign trade partners. They are so important because they also give us insight on what is happening on the ground. So we're talking about weekly meetings, monthly meetings. We are constantly in communication with these persons. And of course, as I mentioned before, the German marketing rep, she makes those calls daily so that we keep in contact and we form a nice communication to keep abreast of what is happening in the travel market.
Yeah. And Ms. Henry, going back to the stakeholders, what has their response been thus far? And we don't have to take all, let's maybe look at the hoteliers in Tobago. I mean, how are they feeling?
The stakeholders, including myself, we are relieved.
Yeah.
They were waiting, they were messaging. I got a lot of calls daily. Is Condor coming back? What is the status of the airline? At that point, it really wasn't up to us. The agreement was there in play. The contractual agreement we had met on both ends. So because of their operational challenges, we had to wait for word from Condor that yes, we were going to get the flight. Post-pandemic, there were a lot of shortages in terms of the flight crew, pilots. I wouldn't say it was a disaster. It was definitely difficult.
Yeah.
But we had to thank Condor. There's really a unique relationship between Tobago and Germany, and they worked really hard to ensure that we got that flight. So when word got out, everyone was ecstatic. It was good news. It was really good news. And hearing that we're getting a brand new aircraft, it will be something to see at Crown Point.
I would imagine so. Now I know that we're looking forward. Now I know that we're looking forward to November. I know that we're looking forward to
Yes,
November, but in terms of more
yes.
details, can you share, for example, what dates the flights are going to be? Because I know you mentioned there's a stopover in Barbados, but can you share dates? Can you also share maybe a price range? Because I could imagine to fly to Germany might be a bit expensive.
The price range, I wouldn't be able to talk about the price range. You can visit condor.com. It's an easy platform to follow. In terms of the date, it's a weekly flight. It's a Tuesday flight.
A
So
Tuesday
I'm
flight.
thinking from past time. I'm not sure of the timing of arrival. It should be around 5 p.m. But the information is online. It's condor.com. On average, I'm not able to say the cost, but you can log on online and see what's the average costing. All the
Yeah.
dates are there in the system. As I said before, it's from the 7th of November to the 9th of April. The aircraft loads about 298 passengers. That's if you're considering three classes of travel, business, premium economy, and economy. So
Nice.
we're looking forward to something really, really great. Of course, I will see the marketing efforts of the agency at play. What I can say as well is we're hoping for improvement. If we are being realistic, coming out of the pandemic, Tobago, we were a little late out of the blocks because of the health protocols that were instilled by the Ministry of Health. So catch up, we had to play catch up and play catch up really, really fast. So we're hoping that whatever we put together, we see an improvement from last year. And of course, we see continuous improvement throughout the years.
Yeah. Now, Ms. Henry, you mentioned from November to April, so it's only for a 6-month period. Is it going to be
It
extended?
is.
Is there going to be conversation around that?
We can speak definitely from November to April, but I know we are continuing talks in terms of having the airline throughout the year. That one is a little more tricky because European airlines in general, not just Condor, they tend to go to the US because it's more profitable, right?
Mm,
But somehow we're in conversation. It was something that was spoken about when we were in meetings with Condor, considering having the airline for continuity's sake operate throughout the year.
right. Okay, interesting.
So
And
fingers, we have to cross our fingers again, hoping for a really good winter season that they
yes.
would definitely consider us, for throughout the year, to having a
Yeah.
flight throughout the year.
Nice. And before you go, I know that you had made some comments about is it the Tobago Beyond brand? Can you just share some more about what that is and how we can get some more buy-in from Tobagonians?
The Tobago Beyond brand, that's the brand that we use. It was established, I think, in 2017, along with the agency. It was a general rebranding of Tobago. Of course, you can log on to www.tobagobeyond.com and get familiar with our niches. Because what most persons don't know, they ask all the time, what is Tobago's product? What are we selling? What is that unique selling point that Tobago has? We have four niches. If you look, we also have a color scheme. It's blue, orange, green, and pink. Blue represents, yes, I'm rambling because I'm very passionate.
No,
I'm
and that's why
very,
I asked
very
you because I know
passionate
you sounded
about,
off with a media organization, so I wanted to hear more about it.
yeah, I'm very passionate about the brand. We have the green represents eco, the orange represents people and culture or heritage. The blue represents sea and beaches, and pink represents romance and weddings. So
Yes.
that is our four niches. That is what we offer. Um, Persons can keep locked to our Instagram page, keep locked to our Facebook page, and get familiar with what Tobago has to offer.
Yeah. Ms. Henry, let me thank you so much for joining us this morning, all the way from lovely
Most
Tobago. And just
welcome.
remind our
Yes.
viewers where they can go to get more information about that flight. Is it Condor on Condor's
Yes,
website?
it's simple. www.condor.com. As I said, the platform is pretty simple. TAB, that is the Tobago. That's our airport acronym.
Yes.
TAB, and you put in FRA for Frankfurt. It's pretty simple. The flights come up. You choose whether it's business, economy, premium economy. You will get all the information there in terms of the price. And remember, the flight is weekly. It's a weekly flight, once per week, Tuesday. Partnering with Barbados, there's a stopover from Tobago to Barbados before you get to Frankfurt when you're returning.
Yes,
So,
Miss
yeah,
Henry, a
you
pleasure
can
to
check
have
it
you
out.
again. Have a
Same
fantastic day and
here.
all the best with the new flight. And we
You as
expect to see
well.
more coming out
I hope
of
so.
the Tobago Tourism
Fingers crossed.
Agency. So thank you so much. Fingers crossed.
You're most welcome.
Have
All
a good
right. Have a
one.
good day.
And that was Ms. Pearl Henry, the marketing officer at the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, just telling us about an upcoming flight from Tobago to Frankfurt, Germany, that's starting in November on the 7th. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.